The power of Christ compels you. This is a line from The Exorcist. The Seventh Seal. Who is that? The Seventh Seal. The Exorcist. Max von Sydow. Max von Sydow was the priest in The Exorcist. He was also in The Seventh Seal, amongst other things. Max von Sydow. Sydow. The power of Christ compels you, right? The power of Christ compels you. So, we've been talking I've been talking at the screen. No, at you. We have been brainstorming together. How about that? Theories and approaches related to politics. Right? Now, supposedly there's an America First wing and there is a blood and soil wing. I don't know who is what. Apparently, Stephen Miller is a non-practicing Jew who feels shame about various aspects of his upbringing, and so he's become, to whatever degree, the way he is. But he doesn't strike me as a very religious guy. That's more like the Hegseth thing. Hegseth sees himself as a crusader for Christ. Apparently, that much is fairly clear. Crusader for Christ. So there are various ways, and of course we have Jennifer Welch and Pumps Sullivan are happy to articulate for us in detail and at length all manner of, what's the word? Indignities. Undignified behavior that is being promulgated and taught in megachurch land. Wherever megachurch land is, I'm sure there are megachurches everywhere. I am from Orange County. We had the Crystal Cathedral. Megachurches. U.S. high-profile evangelistic megachurches. Megachurches. Now, supposedly we are bringing into existence a new Christian nation. Therefore, if you are afraid of the government for whatever reason, you might do well to strap big, fat paraphernalia around yourself. Around yourself. Because if somebody is draped in Christian paraphernalia, and especially if you've got a MAGA hat, put your MAGA hat on. You know, there are about 100 different versions of the MAGA hat, all made in Bangladesh, or what was the other place? Bangladesh, I guess, is the main place that Donald Trump has his stuff manufactured. I mean, why doesn't he have it manufactured in this country? I mean, we would imagine that's pretty basic. So look, the thing about Christianity to me is this. You know, there are a lot of aspects of what's going on in Christianity, and we pick and choose. So if you got myself, what have I picked and chosen? I have picked and chosen, you know, what? From my Byzantine Greek roots, perfectly legitimate. I am a baptized Christian man. I have an OG Christian name. It doesn't get any more OG Christian than Demetrios Konstantinos Fergatis, let me tell you. That's one of the first Christian names there was. Constantinople is not Istanbul, but Constantinople. And even old New York was once New Amsterdam. Blah, blah, blah. And I can't say. Maybe they liked it better that way. Istanbul, not Constantinople. Istanbul, not Constantinople. Blah, blah, blah. No, blah, blah business, but that's nobody's business but the Turks. Right. So that's my roots. Irvine High School. They might be giants. Istanbul, not Constantinople. That's my roots. I'm a Byzantine Christian, motherfucker. And I grew up 15 minutes south of Disneyland. Yeah, that Disneyland. The OG Disneyland, the original Disneyland in Anaheim. We almost bought some buildings about 1 mile from Disneyland. We should have. I remember it well. The buildings that we went to. They were owned by a Chinese gentleman. They were owned by a Chinese gentleman, and I remember some bags of cash, and we sat down, and he was ready to take a deposit on the building, I think. This is at least 30 years ago. That's nobody's business but the Turks. You can wear conspicuous, branded, propagandistic paraphernalia, and you don't have to have a spiel, and it doesn't have to be consistent with your identity because this is self-defense. Now, in my case, it's actually true. If I have to defend myself to philosophers, then I get to say that I actually am a Christian atheist. And then they'll laugh because it's half a joke. But then I will expound my view, and then and then this is how they will react to me. And then they said, and then they will say, and Dimitri can fantasize about how he projects his ideal ego into the society. This is not entirely the point. The point is self-defense. The point is that I am suggesting something that I have brainstormed with friends, and it seems over the months like it's fairly palpable, plausible. You could self-defend yourself simply by wearing a big fat crucifix around your neck, and maybe practicing, practicing your oratorial voice. The power of Christ compels you. And I should do that with because that's a kind of like a rosary voice. I should take it off, but it's trying to also pour a cup of coffee here, and so I'm multitasking, but I can hold it up. I've got multiple. The power of Christ compels you. Get thee behind me, Satan. Yeah. If you're not into God, if you're David Benatar, if you're not into God or Christianity, maybe you can handle the Delta blues. Right? Blues, evil, death, and so on. They are all Christians. The Delta blues musicians, they are all Christians. My point is that minor adjustments to the identity predicate ain't no big deal, especially when your assailant is illiterate and they only care how you look. What do you think, your assailant is going to start berating you with theological questions? They are illiterate, remember? They don't know any theological questions. All you have to do is hold a big fucking crucifix in front of their face, bigger than any crucifix they themselves have ever seen, and glare at them in the eye and say, the power of Christ compels you.